And this quarterback, I'm telling you, he's going to be a household by the end of the year. This kid's pretty good. So,
Saints second-year quarterback Spencer Rattler has been getting a lot of praise recently for how he's played through the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. Not only are Saints fans pleased with him, but we have a 49ers defensive coordinator in Robert Saleh, one of the most respected DCs in the league, saying Rattler is going to be a household name by the end of the year. You got people who covered the NFL saying Rattler looks really good and the Saints might have something in him. It's only 2 weeks through the year, things can change, but right now things are looking really good for Spencer Rattler and how he's been playing. And we're going to break that all down in today's video. I'm Cash. You should take 5 seconds to like the video and subscribe. If I sound weird, I'm currently dealing with like a little cold or something, so bear with me, but appreciate the support. We're trying to get to 15K by the end of the year. We're at 14.2 right now. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate the support. And with all that being said, let's dive into it. Spencer Rattler has been playing some pretty damn good football recently through the first 2 weeks of the NFL season, but his toughest task has yet to come as they are now getting ready to play the Seahawks. But just last week, the 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, one of the best and most respected defensive play callers in the league, had a very big comment and high praise for Spencer Rattler, calling him a future household name. We got this graphic up right here from Instagram, fire graphic by the way, made by yours truly, of Robert Saleh and Spencer Rattler in the comment that he made regarding the second-year quarterback.
and this quarterback, I'm telling you, he's going to be a household by the end of the year. This kid's pretty good. So, he's a twitchy athlete. He's got a hell of an arm. He's very decisive in his decision making as he goes through his progression, and he's accurate with the football. So,
This is a really big comment from one of the best and most respected defensive coordinators in the NFL, and Robert Saleh. The 49ers defense is no slouch. They got Nick Bosa playing some of the best football he's ever played. Fred Warner's a freaking monster, probably a future Hall of Fame linebacker. And for Robert Saleh to make this comment about Spencer Rattler, a guy who a lot of people had questions about coming into the season, is a big statement. And Spencer Rattler backed up what Robert Saleh said about him, because on Sunday versus the 49ers, Spencer Rattler played he played the best game of his NFL career. He was 25 of 34, 73% completion. That's the highest of his career. 260 yards, not the highest, but a decent amount of yardage. 3 touchdowns, the most he's ever had in a game. No turnovers. He took 3 sacks. By far the best performance by Spencer Rattler in his NFL career against a really good defense and a really good defensive coordinator. And he backed up what Robert Saleh had to say, that this quarterback's pretty good. There's still some things obviously he needs to work on. He's not a finished product, but he's playing some really good football. Spencer Rattler responded to the comments of Robert Saleh on Wednesday when he was asked about it in the press conference, and he handled this like a true QB1 with a really good answer.
Yeah, I mean, that means a lot. You know, you want the respect of your peers, and obviously one of the top guys in our league when it comes to, you know, he was a head coach, obviously a great D coordinator. So to have that respect and, you know, before the game and then after, even more, getting to speak with him after and the players on that side, it's a cool feeling. You know, makes you want to keep working hard and, you know, keep gaining that respect.
I know some of you are going to be saying this is the same Robert Saleh who drafted Zach Wilson and believed in him and believed in Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, but as a defensive coordinator, game planning for Rattler, he's a really good and one of the best defensive play callers. And for him to say this, it is a massive statement from one of the best and most respected in the NFL. If Spencer Rattler ends up being a household name and turns out to be a really good quarterback and ends up being a long-term starter for the Saints, that's obviously a good thing. But then there's the bad angle of it, which is the Saints wasted a second-round pick on Tyler Shuck, who's not going to be playing, and got beat out by a fifth-round pick quarterback in Spencer Rattler. But I just want one of these guys to be good. If Spencer Rattler can be the Saints' long-term quarterback and be the 16th best QB in the league, I will 100% take it. If he's not the answer and Tyler Shuck is, I'll take that. But right now, things are looking really good for the second-year quarterback. That being said, Spencer Rattler's been playing some really damn good football through the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. So good that Spencer Rattler right now is currently the Saints' highest-graded player on offense. And that says a lot. Now, I don't think he's the best player on the Saints offense. I think Kelvin Banks is playing some really good football. Eric McCoy is playing some good football. Chris Olave is playing some decent football. Would like to see him get a little bit more involved. But Spencer Rattler's definitely been one of the better players for the Saints, I'd say, through these first 2 weeks. He has to keep it up. He has to keep playing good football. But for him to be the highest graded player on PFF, that's pretty damn impressive. And sticking with the grades of PFF, something that's insane is that looking at the NFL quarterbacks in general through PFF, Spencer Rattler is currently the 9th best graded quarterback according to PFF. That is actually wild. I don't think he's a top 10 QB. I don't think he's playing like a top 10 QB in the NFL right now, but I think he's definitely playing like an NFL starting caliber quarterback. He's proving that he's worthy of being an NFL starter. He does have to win a game at some point, but he's looking really good right now. Has he been a top 10 QB through 2 weeks? No, but I think he's playing a lot better than what a lot of people were expecting from him coming into the season. Now, something that's really interesting is that when you compare Spencer Rattler to some of the other second-year quarterbacks like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, and Bo Nix, he's actually playing better than some of those guys, and that's pretty wild considering all those guys were first-round picks, picked 150 spots ahead of him, and he was a fifth-round pick. But the big one here is Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick, who replaced him at Oklahoma, and Spencer Rattler, the 5th-round pick, who Caleb Williams replaced at Oklahoma. So far, Rattler has more passing yards, same amount of passing TDs, more yards per completion, better completion percentage, and no turnovers for Spencer Rattler. Plus, the Saints have just looked better than the Bears have through the first 2 weeks. The Bears did have a lead versus the Vikings, and then they blew it. And then they got blown out by the Lions. So, Spencer Rattler, could you say he's playing better than Caleb Williams right now? How much of that is Kellen Moore and Ben Johnson? I'm not too sure, but we got to give Rattler his props. And then there's this chart of like EPA per play and per dropback of all the second-year quarterbacks. Drake May's at the top. Michael Penix is number 2. And just below him is Spencer Rattler. And according to this doesn't actually mean he's playing better than them. It's just like a metric to base off of completions, turnover-worthy plays, etc. But according to this chart, he's playing better than Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and J.J. McCarthy. I think he's playing better than McCarthy. I think he's playing better than Caleb, or at least the same level. I think him and Michael Penix are playing the same level. And I think with Bo Nix, I think Drake May is probably the best second-year quarterback right now. Jaden Daniels is having a weird season to start, but I think we can definitely say Jaden Daniels is the best QB in this group. But this is some really encouraging things to see from the second-year quarterback who a lot of people hated coming into the season, did not want to see him play. He's proving a lot of you wrong. Spencer Rattler is even getting some praise from a former Saints offensive lineman, Saints legend, possible future Hall of Famer Terron Armstead. 2 weeks in a row, Terron Armstead on his YouTube channel had really good things to say about Spencer Rattler. And on the most recent one, he said he believes in him and that he loves his confidence in the pocket.
I love Spencer Rattler's fearlessness. He is the most unfazed, confident person that you can ever see. And you can see it on film, bro. It's just, he believes in himself if no one else does. And a lot of us do. I believe in him. I believe in him, man. I think he can be a guy that can develop and grow and to be something real. You know what I mean? It's early. He's still got a lot of growing to do. His team has to help him too.
But not only is Rattler getting praise from just like players and coaches within the NFL, but people who cover the NFL in the media. We got Brett Coleman right here saying he was rewatching the Saints game versus the 49ers, and the Saints might have something here with Spencer Rattler. Now, it is early. We saw how things can change after 2 weeks last season with the Saints. But, man, it's hard not to be encouraged right now with the momentum that he's picked up. He's going to have to start winning games at some point. But right now, he's looking really promising. And then, of course, you do have NFL Draft Bios saying he believes in Rattler, posting this video of just him dropping some absolute dimes. What a throw right there to Rashid Shaheed. Good job right here standing in the pocket, taking a hit and delivers a dime to Brandon Cooks. Right here, perfect throw to Juwan Johnson under pressure, puts it in a spot only Juwan can make the play. This next one breaks out of 2 sacks, protects the football, and then drops the shoulder, breaks 2 tackles at once. What a play to keep the drive going on 3rd down. Nice pass right there under some pressure to Chris Olave. Good job on the RPO here, finding Devon Bailey, put it right in his chest. This is a drop from Juwan. No, really good job right here, finding Olave in the zone. Here's a touchdown to Shaheed on the RPO. Really good decision there. Here's the drop from Juwan Johnson. Put it right in his chest and he dropped it. There's some really good things that Rattler's doing right now. And whether or not he does or doesn't become a franchise QB or starting an NFL QB in the future, things right now, though, are trending in that direction, no doubt about it. Now, Spencer Rattler, though, is about to have his toughest task yet. Week 3, they're going into Seattle playing a very, very good Seahawks team, a really good defense, a defensive-minded head coach, and a hostile environment. It's going to be a tough game for him to win, but if he can look good and continue to build on what he did last week, that would be a win. Pulling up some of the stats from the Seahawks defense and just how good they look right now, this is an insane stat. The Seahawks lead the NFL with a 49.4 pressure rate. They're getting pressure on 50% of their snaps, but it gets crazier. They're using 4-man rushes 83% of the time and blitzing at 13, which is almost dead last. So they're creating pressure without blitzing. 50% of the time they're getting pressure with only 4 guys. That's absolutely insane. And then you got Mike McDonald back there. Their secondary is pretty solid. Like, this is going to be a tough task for Spencer Rattler. And on top of that, he might not have some of his guys out there. Wednesday's injury report, Fuaga did not practice with a back and a knee injury, mainly the back though. The starting left guard, Dylan Radins, has a toe injury, but Trevor Penning returned. So he might be out, his starting right tackle in Fuaga. He might be out his starting left guard, maybe his backup left guard. And on top of that, you have Cesar Ruiz at right guard, who might be the worst offensive lineman in the NFL. And I'm not just saying that. According to PFF, Cesar Ruiz is ranked 86 out of 88 in terms of guards around the NFL. That's absolutely atrocious. 85th in run blocking and 54th in pass blocking. He was a first-round pick. They gave him $30 million, and he's playing like one of the worst offensive linemen in the NFL. So Spencer Rattler has a tough task coming up. A really good Seahawks defense, a good unit up front that's going to create pressure. He might not have some of his starting offensive linemen, a really good defensive play caller and schemer in Mike McDonald, and a hostile environment in Seattle. And on top of that, it's the first road game of the season, so there's going to be communication issues. They're on the silent count. There's going to be operational issues. This is going to be a tough game. But if they win or lose, I think the biggest thing here is, how does Spencer Rattler look? Does he build on what he did versus the Niners last week versus a good defense? Can he do that again versus another very good defense? Can he build upon that? That's the biggest thing here. Also, the Saints are rocking their white helmets for the first time ever in Seattle. These look absolutely clean. These look awesome. There's a video from NOF right here. This looks awesome. QB1 with look at the aura. This is absolutely awesome. So I'm excited to see these in their debut on Sunday. The Saints might lose, but they're gonna lose in fashion. So there's a lot of momentum going on for Spencer Rattler right now. The 5th-round pick going into his 2nd season. Robert Saleh called him a future household name, which is a massive statement. He's looking like one of the better second-year quarterbacks in the NFL. According to PFF, he's a top 10 QB, which I don't necessarily agree with, but it is what it is. That's a compliment to his game, and we're going to take that. Things are looking good for him right now, but he has to keep it up going into week 3. That does it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. How do you feel about Spencer Rattler? Make sure to like the video and subscribe. I'm Kaj, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.